What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ed Honcho, and this is a South Sports special. Now, if you don't know what South Sports is about, if you don't know what Ed Honcho is about, man, we all about H-Town, all about Houston sports. You know what I'm saying? From the pros to the NCAA to the amateurs. I mean, NCAA is technically amateurs, but to high school and all that. We talking about Houston sports. If it's Houston related, then that's what we're gonna talk about. So we talking Texans, Astros, Rockets, Dynamo, Cougars, Owls, whatever it may be. But today we're going to talk about the Rockets because the Rockets are in the playoffs and the Rockets are going game two against the San Antonio Spurs. And after that first blowout that we had, I'm looking forward to game two in San Antonio. I'm having mixed feelings about it. I'm having mixed opinions about what the Rockets are cooking tonight. I expect to see a good game. I don't know if it was just that the matchups last series that just kind of had them thrown off. Like I said, I don't know if it was the rest that allowed them to play a much better game. But like I said, I'm excited to see what happens tonight. I originally called the series in six. I said either team who wins is going to win it in 6 games. But I'm calling it for the Rockets, of course. And the way it's looking like that may happen. But if the Rockets come out and play, you know, 80% as well as they did last game, I see today being another victory because the Spurs just don't have the manpower to run with the Rockets. They can't play that game, and they attempted and they failed miserably. And so if the Rockets come out, like I said, and play great defense and do like they did again. Even though the national narrative is the Rockets, they don't play defense. But like I said, you saw, if you're a fan, if you paid any attention, if you're a halfway decent basketball fan and you paid any attention to that game unbiasedly, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to be very biased because I'm going to go for Houston every time. But even if you paid attention unbiasedly, you saw the Rockets played great defense that game. That's the only reason you don't have a professional team go against a team that just doesn't play any defense and can't drop 40 in the first half. Not like the Spurs. That just doesn't happen. It's not an anomaly. It's just great basketball. So a lot of people they'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh, well, it was this and it was that." The Spurs had a bad shooting. Why do they have a bad shooting night? They're at home. Well, I mean, why do they have a bad shooting night? Come on, So there were factors at play that made them shoot very poorly. But like I said, people won't acknowledge that. Even if you say, like I say, you see my takes where I kind of do a little debate on First Take or whomever else, and they just what they see on the national media's take on Houston sports. And like I say, man, they don't give us props. They just make us seem as though the other team failed to complete the task. Like a couple of years back, a few years back, whenever it was the Clippers, and we came back and well, the Clippers they historically the Rockets played damn good ball and but you don't ever hear that storyline. That's not the storyline they give you. They'll give you Russell Westbrook was historic, losing night, but they won't tell you about a historic blowout, from the Rockets. They won't tell you that bullshit. Like I say, the national media has a narrative, and Houston doesn't fit that narrative, so fuck them. You know what I'm saying? It's all South Sports is here for you. So if you want to hear the real shit, if you want to talk Houston, then we gonna talk South. So tonight, I think I'm really staying. I'm gonna call it a Rockets win. And if I call it a Rockets win, then that kind of throws off my original prediction of 6 games because I don't. If the Rockets play like they did Monday, I don't see them losing at home, and I just don't really see them losing at home here. But the Spurs, they'll fuck around and take one at the house, even though I want to call it all Rockets. So I'm gonna call the Rockets tonight. I'm gonna give it to them. It's gonna be a closer game. I'm gonna say a 7-point victory. I'm gonna call it 109 to 102. The Rockets. That's what I'm thinking. I think James drops 30. Another double double, a couple of rebounds. That's a great game. He had a double double, 4 steals last game. Capella shows up again because he has a more favorable matchup. And then, like I say, with the committee, you got guys in there who yeah, I think will take care of business. I mean, because that's just a. But then I say I'm not going to count Pop out because this is Pop we're talking about, and Popovich he's going to come with a great game plan. You got veterans, you got guys that have been there and done it, and so that does have some carryover. But I just think the Rockets are on fire. They're feeling something. James is just playing at another level right now. Like I say, now that the ankle's feeling better, so I see the Rockets taking it again, but not in the same fashion. They may pull out to an early lead, but then San Antonio kind of gets it together and closes that up. But I think we take it at San Antonio. We take both games. I'd like to bring it back home and win both and just sweep them. That would be great. But you're San Antonio. We're talking about it's not going to be a sweep. So I'm going to call it tonight, even though I kind of really wanted to give it to San Antonio, figuring they'll bounce back. But something's just telling me the Rockets are going to put their foot on San Antonio's neck tonight and make them really have to come to Houston and play ball. But like I say, San Antonio won't go out with a fight. They'll come to Houston and win one. Um, but I'm just feeling something special about this Rockets team. I don't know what it is. You know, at first, even in the playoffs, I was just kind of skeptical. I mean, I'm a fan of my team. You know, you won't tell me anybody's better than the Rockets. But, I mean, trying to be realistic, you know, taking a little bit of the homerism out, I was just like, okay, we're going to have some trouble if we go up against, you know, Memphis or San Antonio or possibly Golden State, you know, if we get, you know, in that range. But what I saw from the Rockets in game one, if that can translate, like I say, it doesn't even have to be at that high of a clip, but if that game, if that style, if that speed of play, and everybody contributing, if you can maintain that, then I don't really see anybody stopping the Rock. I mean, that's hard to put up. I mean, that's hard to stop. You're playing that caliber of defense and you're putting up those kind of points. That's hard to stop. I mean, that's really hard to stop. Now, it's going to be different when you go up against teams that have more weapons and things like that. But like I said, we're not going to count San Antonio out this series yet. It's just game one. This is not like Oklahoma City where you knew Russell Westbrook would shoot them out of the game every time, and you already know what was going to happen. So there was no worries about them. San Antonio, we had a good series, regular season series with them, but it was real close. So don't let people fool you with the, you know, that they won more games. It was real close. So you know the fact that people, you know, they're not superior to us in any way. You know, we can compete with San Antonio. I think a lot of that may be that carryover from just their status of being San Antonio. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's no Tim Duncan there. Parker's still there, but there's no Tim Duncan. And LaMarcus Aldridge is obviously not the successor to Tim Duncan because he's not even the successor to LaMarcus Aldridge in Portland. That guy's out there looking like a shell of himself. And like, I definitely didn't expect that. Like I said, I haven't kept up with San Antonio like that. You know, I just was assuming LaMarcus was balling, you know, and, you know, that's what you just expect from him, especially, you know, when he dropped those games that we had a couple of series years back too when we played him. So you know you just have those memories still in mind. But obviously he's not who he was. I'm glad we didn't get him because I remember I wanted him bad. I thought he would be the missing piece, but obviously that wasn't the play. Putting some pieces around James is more beneficial than what he has going on. So with that being said, man, like I say, I'm gonna call it Rockets tonight, 109 to 102. Rockets win. We're gonna bring it back home up 2-0. The sports media, national sports media, still not going to give credit. They're going to talk about how the Spurs have imploded and all this stuff. Now they're not going to give the Rockets credit after this. So just trust me. That's what's going to happen. They're going to say the Rockets they played well, but the Spurs just imploded and they just are historically bad. They're not going to talk about how well the Rockets played. They're not going to talk about how good they did. They're not going to talk about the record 22 threes lit up on them. Stuff like that they don't want to talk about. But you'll talk about triple double because it sounds good. Even though it doesn't equate to the win, they'll talk about that. That's why I say, man, fuck ESPN and those major sports networks because they're full of bullshit with their bullshit ass stats and their, like I say, their favoritism and their bias. It's real hard to watch that shit. Really hard to watch that shit. Anyway, like I say, man, I'm the Real Ed Honcho. You see right here, this is the Twitter, this is the Instagram, this is the Real Ed Honcho. Please subscribe if you like what I'm talking about. This is South Sports. It's South Sports Special. You know, I'm talking Texans, talking Rockets, talking Astros, talking Dynamo. Even though I don't know nothing about baseball or soccer, it's Houston, so I'm gonna show them some love. I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna really do some studying and really tighten up on that, so I can start bringing you those takes too. Because like I said, I want to cover all Houston sports. I want to cover the city for fans of the city because you're not gonna get it from the national media. So with that being said, it's the Real Ed Honcho. Deuce up. I'm out. Appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. And hey, if you like what I'm saying, comment below, leave a comment, subscribe, like I say, all that stuff. I do my best to try to comment back. Sometimes I fall a little behind, I get a little bit busy. Be trying to cram stuff in, so you know, forgive me for that. But hey, like I say, I appreciate all the love that's been coming. The Real Ed Honcho, deuce up. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Rockets win.